So how you use interface roles, they are an orchestrated thing. They work very similarly to route labels, zones, overlays. These are orchestrated artifacts. They're things that you create once globally within the orchestrator. It is specific to the entire fabric. You hit save, and it's pushed out to all appliances everywhere. Now, what that means is that the strings used here and the GPID values they're mapped to, it's the same everywhere. And the EdgeConnect enforces that. You have one consistent table that you configure all of your roles in. So you create the role. For every interface, you can click this drop down and you can select from one of those orchestrated roles. For a VTI, for instance, there's a role selection in the VTI edit modal. We also wired the role mechanism into all the orchestration loops throughout the product. There, when you set up orchestrated loopbacks, you can define what role you want associated with those loopbacks. You can, when you're setting up AWS Network Manager, you can specify what role, again, the fallback role or the interface role is associated with each of the tunnels that are created in the Network Manager. Even the Azure Network Manager has a role selection. So we've put it everywhere. You should have full access to roles in any context, regardless of where you are in the product. There are a couple of rules about how it works. The interface role, the fallback role, it's always at the bottom. It's the last thing that would happen. For instance, if it's a VXLAN flow, we first try to get the role from the GPID, then we check and see if radius snooping got us the role, then we see if NAT got us the role, and finally, if all this stuff resulted in no role determined, we will fall back on the assigned VNI role. But for non-VXLAN use cases, the way it will work is this. We will first use radius snooping. So if we snoop a radius message and we figure out that this IP is associated with this role, that will take priority. Next priority will be NAC default role, and then finally the interface role. So it really does fall back on this role at the very bottom of the logic stack. Here's some additional table that explains some stuff, like which role will get used in different situations. There really are no upgrade implications. When customers do upgrade, there wasn't an interface role before. Now there is, and the new role that will appear in the UI will just already be set to default, which is what it was before the upgrade. Like roles were already being set to default. They will still be getting set to default. The interface role will only take effect when you actually use it, when you set the interface role value to something other than default.